I've got this, Ninja. It's just a Bank of America story. Sure, they're doing something crazy in the crypto markets, but that's okay. You can get through this. La 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 la. A-E-I-O-U. Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. I am fired up. We got a story about Bank of America. They're making some waves in the crypto markets. I'm a little congested. Now, people think that just because you read a news story, everything's supposed to go up overnight. That's actually not how it works in finance. As a matter of fact, when big banks dive into something, they like to smash it down for their wealth clients. And that's right. They're only going to be serving their wealthy clients, not you. Type 1 if you don't like big banks like Bank of America because of any given reason. I've got plenty of them. This story comes out of Reuters, and real quick, I'm going to tell you a story about the Supreme Court winning a case against some people and now being able to audit you forever. And if you own crypto, you need to learn as much as you can about how to properly claim your crypto. And if you're just putting the documents from the exchanges in front of your tax person, you're going to get in trouble. And I'm going to explain that in a second, all right? Oh, yeah, and it's because I'm selling a course. The link's down below. It's 85% off. Crypto Tax Pro and Tax Planner 101. All right, there's I think a day left. Bank of America expands crypto access for wealth management clients. It says here, December 4th, Bank of America will begin allowing its wealth advisors to recommend allocations to crypto in client portfolios from next month. The U.S. leading giant said on Thursday in a landmark moment for the digital asset sector. Isn't that nice? Here, crypto's gotten smacked down. Hopefully it'll go down a little bit more, down to the mid 70s. I'd like to buy some more. Type 2, or just, no, I don't, why do I am literally stuck on this whole type thing. You know, when I got smacked down, the channel got taken down 90% of my views for making a warning about something else coming to the world, even though it happened. Exactly like I said, I started this whole type thing. Now I'm stuck. I like actually hearing what you guys think. I can't stop myself. All right, so now think about this. Crypto gets smacked down. Bank of America rolls this out for its wealthy clients, not for you. It's wealthy clients. How does that make you feel? I'm just throwing this out there. Clients whose assets met predetermined thresholds, probably $1 million or more, or perhaps $300,000 or more in annual income. Just, you know, figure in their wealthy, can actually do this. It says that they have access to Bitcoin ETFs since they've had it since 2024, the bank said. However, the latest move evolves the role of advisors from, looks like executioners, but it's actually executors of crypto orders to advisors. How cute would that be? You're getting crypto advice from a dude that works for a bank that probably doesn't even own anything except for a little bit of Bitcoin, doesn't understand market dynamics, crypto cycles, probably couldn't tell you what an ICO is, probably couldn't even, you know, explain his way out of a paper bag. It says here, as U.S. President Donald Trump continues to push regulatory relief for the asset class, crypto has been benefiting from widespread institutional adoption. Several of these investors prefer to hold crypto via ETFs and ETPs, which provide greater liquidity and security. No, I don't agree with that. And simply regulatory compliance. Let's talk about regulatory compliance. How many of you, just a question, have heard about a case recently that was won by the IRS, which will allow the IRS to audit you for the rest of your life? Type yes or no if you've heard about this. I don't have the specifics in front of me, but let me break down essentially what it was. The IRS went after this couple for taxes that they filed from like 1993 to, I want to say, like 2003. They had paid a tax preparer to do all their taxes. They thought everything was good. They never thought in a million years that they could go back. They were used to the 3-year or 6-year, whatever it is, audit rule. What happened was, it wasn't them being investigated. They did everything right. What happened was their tax preparer had put fraudulent stuff in their tax return along with many other people to get them a better return. It was the tax preparer that did it. And this is I'm going to talk about crypto because this is very serious. You need to consider this right now. There are times in life where you need to know a little bit more about specific tax codes than the tax preparer, because a lot of tax preparers aren't in different businesses other than preparing people's taxes. And they don't know everything. A lot of them use back office software to do most of their work when they're filing 1040s, especially 1040s that involve people's LLCs. Now, look, I'm not a tax advisor. I'm not an attorney. Take none of this. That's why it's entertainment. Look, hey, oh, look, I'm just giving you some financial entertainment. If you listen to me, you're nuts. Hey, just throwing this out there. Type 10 if you're nuts. I am. And so what happened was they get audited and they're found that they owe more money because this tax preparer had put this stuff, made himself look really good. I got friends that brag about what their tax person's doing for them. And I got to be honest with you, I asked specific things and it ain't legal. It ain't legal. So what happened was the IRS was actually out there investigating the tax preparer for creating fraudulent tax returns. But guess who got hit? It wasn't just the tax preparer. It was every person that signed on that tax return. You need to seriously question you need to read through everything. You need to, when you sign, you're taking on liability with the IRS. And with crypto, there's one specific software that does a better job than 99% of the softwares out there. And you also need a baseline of information and knowledge of what capital gains are, what's the difference between the rates, what happens when you have a crypto to crypto exchange rather than, let's say, a stable coin or a US dollar or a fiat exchange rate, wherever you are in the world. You need to understand that you only have until January 1st to flip a little switch on your exchanges. And if you don't, the way that you are calculating your gains or loss, or at least how software is calculating your gains or loss, will be locked in forever. Blows my mind. I put together a course on all this with a certified public accountant and a tax planner that owns crypto himself and has been in the crypto market as long as I have. Very intelligent guy. Because this is something that everybody needs. You need to learn about this. If you want the links down below, I'm excited to raise the price in 2 days. Because to be honest with you, at 85% off, this thing's worth 200% of what the full price is. Because once you get this knowledge in you, you're going to know if your tax person knows anything about crypto. And 9 times out of 10, they don't. As a matter of fact, it's sad, but 9 out of 10 accountants don't even go to conventions to learn about new tax law. I do. I'm going to another one in February, actually. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a tax person, but I want to be able to know when dealing with my own wealth, and hopefully you are too, if somebody's full of crap or if they know what they're doing. It's a big deal. I think you're going to see stories because there's some crypto tax reform coming. I get it. Everyone thinks it's going to go tax-free because they live in la la land. And just so you know, all that information, I lost a business partner over this and a friend, but he wasn't really a friend. As a matter of fact, I guarantee he wasn't a friend. He was just greedy because he believes all those YouTubers out there, when the president says, hey, it's going tax-free, just so you know, all he has to do is make it tax-free for your first $1,000 and say, see, I made it tax-free. People are going to get smacked in the face. And what's happening in the government is they're just pumping their own bags. They own exchanges. They own pieces of companies. I don't even know if you guys know this, but there are people that ran for office in this last election that own fully built out cryptocurrency companies that they never talked about on the campaign trail. And I'm not just talking about the White House. Multiple people. You don't know how big this is. I hope you do something to get ready for it. If you want the tax planning 101 and the Crypto Tax Pro course, it's 85% off for the next day and a half. All right? I want people to win and succeed, but you can't do that by listening to a bunch of crap on YouTube. You need to actually go learn and put in the work. And I'm sure there's some books out there. If you want to go buy one of those and read it, go do it. The Ninja is out.